So it is study of various fault in DC network analyzer. I hope you have already studied your fault in your switchgear protection class, and you have studied the three-phase fault in your power system performance class. So theoretically, if power system is given, then we can study, we can analyze fault at any point of that power system. If we draw the single line diagram with the help of single line diagram and reactance diagram. But in laboratory, when we use DC network analyzer, whatever the number of faults are given, it is very difficult to accommodate within that 3 hours. So we generally limit the experiment with the three-phase fault and single line to ground fault. But so the experimental data available is only for three-phase fault and single line to ground fault. But if you are interested, you can analyze all, can calculate all the fault currents as instructed in the laboratory manual. Otherwise, for the lab report, you can do only for the single line to ground fault and the three-phase fault. So actually what happened? The objective is to simulate the given power system in a DC network analyzer. That means a power system is given. That means you have to create that power system. What you do in MATLAB Simulink, you create that power system using a circuit diagram in MATLAB Simulink or LabVIEW. In that way, we can simulate. Simulate means we can make a replica of that power system in laboratory also using resistance, inductance, and resistor, inductor, and the sources. So in that way, here we have to simulate the power system, a power system given to a network to DC network analyzer. That means DC network analyzer means in that board, in that system, some components are given. We have to make the circuit, so we can simulate any circuit in that analyzer. You have used a part of that in case of when you study the DC distribution system in your second year, I think. So the same board we shall use to simulate this power system. So you know that there is an array of resistors. So we can connect those resistors as per our use, our requirement, and we can study a system. So here we shall study only three-phase fault and single line to ground fault, as the experimental data available with me only for these two. So what is the objective one? To measure and calculate the fault current in different parts of it, of the system. Of the system means that given power system for three-phase fault. You know what is three-phase fault? At any point of a power system, if there is a three-phase fault, that means those three phases are interconnected, or all the three phases are connected to ground. That means that this is the three-phase to ground fault, and this is the three-phase fault. In all the cases, same current will flow through the each phase. So the fault is called the balance fault. So how we calculate this fault current? We have learned this one in our power system performance classes. So we identify the fault point. If this is the fault point, then that from at first we draw the sequence net, the reactance diagram. Then that fault point we connect to ground, and across the we can calculate the current from fault point to ground. So this is the fault current, right? And this is the voltage available at the fault point, no load voltage available at the fault point. That means Thevenin equivalent voltage. And this is the positive sequence voltage, impedance. Why positive sequence? Since the system is balanced, so there is no question of negative or zero sequence. So it is a balance fault, and whatever fault current we are finding, we are getting, that is the fault current per phase. Okay. Write your name in the chat box, name and roll number. So we can calculate the fault current by voltage by impedance at the fault point. What is the second objective? To measure and calculate the fault current in different parts of the system for the single line to ground fault. So single line to ground fault means one phase is short circuited. Generally we assume theoretically that A phase is short circuited for the academic calculation. So what happens during single line to ground fault? If we analyze the network, then we see that this is actually it is an unbalanced system. So we have to analyze it using sequence network. So if we consider the voltage condition at this at for the circuit condition, at this condition, the for single line to ground fault, A phase voltage will be 0, and A phase current initially was 0. Now it is now it is fault current, because we assume that the alternator is working at no load before the fault, or the fault current is higher as compared to the rated current of the system. So in that way, using those equations, we know that the sequence networks during single line to ground fault are connected in series. So you know positive sequence network has a voltage, because generator always generate positive sequence voltage only, and negative sequence network only has negative sequence impedance. Zero sequencing network has zero sequence impedance. If you do not understand anything, then you must interrupt me and ask, because I am sure you already know these things. These things has been as this have been discussed in class. Anyway, so these three sequence networks are connected in series, because when we analyze the circuit, we have seen that I1 equal to I2 equal to I0. So I1, I2, I0 are the sequence currents, and V1 plus V2 plus V0 is the equal to 0. That is the A phase voltage. So that's why this is the interconnection. But whatever current we shall get from this sequence network, that is the sequence current. I1 or I2 or I0, all are equal. So we shall get only one sequence current, because but sequence current is not the phase fault current. So what is the fault current? Here fault is in A phase. So fault current is equal to A phase current. So actually it is I1 plus I2 plus I0. So since all these currents are same, so it is thrice I1. So we have to calculate this fault current. From this simulated network, we shall get only the sequence current. Okay, you know this and you must remember this. So all the calculated currents will be in per unit. You must convert it into the actual value. Now what is the apparatus required? So for DC, if we want to simulate the circuit in using resistor or voltage source, so that is available in DC network analyzer. One regulated power supply, because we shall use a scale of 1 per unit equal to 10 volt and 1 ohm equal to 10 kilo ohm. It is written in your 1 ohm equal to 1 kilo ohm. I think it is written in your instruction sheet. Do you have instruction sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then for measuring the fault current, we need meter, and to set the voltage, we need a voltmeter, because for 1 per unit, we have to set to 10 volts. So you have to measure it. So generally, we use multimeter for this purpose. Now, this is the network analyzer. You know, these are simply array of resistance. So here, each resistance has two terminal. You see, this is the actual resistance. In between these two terminal, actually the uh, resistance is connected, right, in between these two terminal. But these two are sorted. But why they are used? So that if we want to connect an ammeter, then by removing this shorting, we just connect that one, right? Otherwise what will happen? Otherwise, if we disconnect this circuit, it is a series parallel circuit, so it will be very difficult to identify that point where we have get disconnected the circuit. So it will be difficult to get back the original circuit. So you have to start from the original. So that's why this provision is there, so that you can connect an ammeter, or you can connect by you can short this one by an wire. Okay, and it is from your Thevenin network theorem, network theorem, this network, that box, the DC network analyzer used for network theorem verification. So there is no switch here, but in case of this circuit, actually every time we uh, need to measure current at different points, so there is a switch. So switch will make it close directly, and when you want to connect an ammeter, you can Just open the switch and connect the ammeter. Could you follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the power system. We have to simulate and find out the fault current. Here fault point is shown as the HC terminal of transformer 2. So this one is the fault point. Okay. And the informations are given, all the reactances, positive sequence, negative sequence, reactances are given. All are given based on the equipment setting. Always it is given in, it is available actually based on the equipment rating. But we have to simulate the network on 100 MVA base. So we have to convert all the per unit quantities into 100 MVA base, right? So this information is also available in your instruction sheet. So you know, for actually for step up transformers, there is no positive sequence, there is no difference between positive sequence, negative sequence, or zero sequence reactance. So all 10% are applicable for both positive as well as negative as well as zero sequence. But for the generators, they differs. For transmission line, they differs. And for general transmission line, zero sequence reactance is more than positive and negative sequence reactance. It can be seen from here. So if this information is available, then I hope you can convert it into what will be the reactances of different components when it is when the base is 100 MVA. Anyway, I have given this one also in PPT. So what is the procedure? At first, convert all the data to per unit quantities choosing 100 MVA base. Draw the sequence networks connection for the given fault condition. So for different fault, sequence network connection will be different. Simulate the network with proper counter connection on the network analyzer, taking a scale factor of 1 per unit volt means 10 volt, 1 per unit ohm means 1 kilo ohm. Determine the scale factor of the current and calculate the current. Right. Note the current value in per unit from all parts of the system. So say 1 per unit volt you have converted to 10 volts. So 1 per unit ohm you have converted to 10 kilo ohm. So what is the current scale you can calculate? So from there you can calculate what is the per unit value of current you are getting, right? So I have given you the conversion of all data to per unit quantities choosing 100 MVA. This is given to you. You can verify it. Okay. So one thing you may note that in case of water wheel generator, hydro generator, there is a neutral grounding reactance. You know, when neutral grounding reactance come in the sequence network, it becomes thrice of the original. So using that, in the calculation, that multiplication by 3 is taken, and using that we have got the reactance as 0.5 per unit. So if we want to study the three-phase fault, so this is the network, right? So this is the network. If we convert it into sequence network, then what happened? So these two generators are connected in parallel. So actually this is the generator bus, right? So from there, these two generators are identical. Values you can get from the information. They are zero point 0.1 per unit and their rating are same, so 1 per unit. Then there is a transformer, then transmission line, then another transformer. So this is transformer, transmission line, this is another transformer. I have done these things in detail in my performance classes. Then on the 6.6 kV side, there is an idle power station and a synchronous motor. Both are in parallel. So this is the motor I have marked as M. This is the idle generator. So GH. So whatever the values are, per unit values are available in the from this calculation. You see here it is for water wheel generator 0.2, for the synchronous motor 0.5. From there I have put these values, right? So I hope you can understand that one. Do you have any doubt in this part? Do you
No,
have
ma'am.
any doubt? Then actually now this is the sequence network. Now this is we need the network under fault condition. So fault was at the HT terminal of transformer T2. Okay. So this is the fault point. We have to connect this fault point to ground and we have to measure this current or calculate this current. So this will be the circuit for the simulation. So this is the fault point. So if we make the shifting of sources, so instead of that, we can connect it 1 per unit here. So I have shown by red color. Then what will be the simulated resistances and the voltages, right? So from there, whatever current you are ammeter meeting you reading you are getting, that you can uh, convert into per unit, right? So point 1 per unit means point 1 into hundreds, thousand, so 100 ohm in this way. So we have what we have to do in network analyzer. We have to connect actually, say, these two resistance 100 ohm and 100 ohm in parallel, right? Along with two resistance 150 ohm and 50 ohm in series, right? Then 100 ohm again in series, again here two parallel in this way, right? I am doing it in short, right? In this way, and in between these 2 points there will be, sorry, I have made the mistake. From this point actually there will be the voltage source, right? So in that way we can complete the network in DC network analyzer. But you can ask that why we are taking resistance, their inductance. Actually, during fault analysis, we are assuming that resistance is negligible and contribution of line capacitors are negligible. That's why circuit is purely inductive. So in purely inductive circuit, the current will lag the voltage by 90 degrees. So here we are actually measuring the current only, not measuring the phase difference between voltage and current. So if we replace all the inductors by the resistors, there is no problem. That's why we are using the DC network analyzer. So actually, why how it is performed in network? 1 minute. It is not showing from here directly. Let us see from. Let us show you for directly from here. So actually, why how we do it? So in this way, we make the circuit in the network analyzer, and so it is very much complicated. It is not possible to show as I have shown for the other experiment. So here actually at different point we have to connect the ammeter to measure the currents. So these are the ammeters and voltmeters. Okay, these are also multimeters. I think we have used this one in case of constant current source, I think. So this thing we do in the analyzer. So this is the method. Okay. So only whatever circuit is available, the series parallel combination, that we have to do in the network analyzer, and we have to measure the currents. There is another video. So this is the network analyzer. We have shown this one. You have seen this one. So it is my best I can do at this moment. So actually what happened, you have to make this circuit in the analyzer. So actually here you see, if I mark this one, that one point is required, that the point is required to know, say in between A and B, actually you have to connect 200 ohm in parallel, then with that parallel combination 100 ohm in series and 150 ohm in series. It may happen that all these so many 100 ohms are not available, then it may require to make this two parallel combination of 200 ohm is 50, then we connect 150 ohm in series. May happen. If we can get different resistance, then it is fine. Otherwise, we may proceed in this way. So and on the right side, we cannot make the parallel combination. If we make, it will be in fraction, I think. What will be the equivalent of this 500 ohm and 200 ohm? By 700, so it will be fraction. So actually we have to make this one as it is, because we cannot get any fractional uh, resistance in the network analyzer. So this will be our network. So this is the A point. So in between A and B, we have to connect the voltage source, right? So this is the concept. You know, simulation, when you calculate something in calculate computer, that is also called simulator. When you when you model something, any practical thing in a laboratory, that is also simulation. So this is the experimental simulation. What we do in computer, that may be program simulation by program, or if you do anything in simulating, that means you are simulating using one software circuit diagram, but through a software like Simulink, because Simulink, MATLAB Simulink is nothing but a set of computer programs. So what you have to write in report, compute the fault current in all parts of the system of the given faults and compare them with the experimental results. What is the meaning of all parts of the given system? So in given system, actually this is one current, this is one current, this is one current. So you have to calculate current in all parts, right? So actually, not only this fault current, you have to calculate all these currents also. In lab, we take in experimental observation, we shall have only these two currents. Okay, say these are marked as I1, I2. I shall give you that data. I do not know how much they are perfect. Anyway, so if you know I1, I2, I hope you can calculate what will be, say this one is say IG1, IG2. I hope you can calculate IG1, IG2. Then this one is IM1 and IH, say. Will you able to calculate or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so experimental data, I have written current in per unit, but it will not be per unit. I shall correct this one. Actually, this will be the current observed in the simulating in the model, right? But that is not per unit. That will be that you have if when you multiply it by the scale factor, then we will get the current in per unit. Have you understood? What will be the scale factor? If the voltage is 1 per unit equal to 10 volt and the resistance is 1 pound equal to 10 kilo ohm, then what will be the current? 1 milliampere equal to how much per unit, or 1 pound equal to how much milliampere?
Point one.
1 per unit equal to
From 1 million.
1 milliampere. So it will be simple, right? So here all the measurements are given in milliampere, right? I shall correct this one. This is all are milliampere. So you can write this will be actually experimental data. So this will be the current in per unit. Since our scale factor is 1 per unit equal to 1 milliampere. But if you use 2 volt, 20 volt instead of 10 volt, then 1 per unit will be equal to 20 milliampere, I think. 2 milliampere in that way, or 0.5, you calculate it. So again, we have to study the same system for the single line to ground fault. For single line to ground fault, original reactance diagram will be same, but now the fault is single line to ground fault. This is the diagram. So for single line to ground fault, what happened? We have to connect three sequence network in series, right? Considering the fault point, right? So these are three separate sequence network. I am not discussing it again. You learned this from your theoretical class. So this is the fault point, right? So every fault point is connected to the ground reference of another, so that they can be connected in series, right? So this is the method. So in between, this is the positive sequence network. I hope you can understand. This is the negative sequence network. This is the zero sequence network. So positive sequence network and zero sequence network, negative sequence networks are almost same. Only the difference is that there is no source in case of negative sequence networks. and impedances are different. So if it is zero point 0.1, in this case it is 0.05. You can get this one from the data sheet that is available in the instruction manual. Okay. Then for next zero sequence network, what happens? We have to identify whether zero sequence network will flow or not, right? Here also there is one mistake. I shall correct this one. If you see this one, this circuit for zero sequence network, you see generator 1, these thermal generators are grounded. That means current will flow from this side. So this side, no, this side is ground, so delta, so this is correct. So what will happen? So if we connect, then this is the thing. This is the bus. There are two generators here in this way, right? But there is a delta connection. So in this side, there that will be open, right? Okay. So no connection of um, positive zero sequence current will be with the line. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So here actually, as I have drawn, this side will be connected, here it will be disconnected. The things are same. Understood? So in that way, actually, the 1 minute. No, this is not the thing. Here it will be grounded because this is the delta connection. So actually, these two are the alternators. Then there is a transformer that is delta connected. So this side is grounded, right? So this part is same. So what is the correction? This side is right. This should be shorted because the generator is grounded, but this transformer is delta connected. So there will be no line current, but this point of transformer will be grounded. Would you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So in this way, this will be one current and this will be the another current. So here also all the branch currents are marked as I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, I6, and those currents are given in the table, right? So from there you can calculate actual current by taking the by converting that per unit using the base quantities. So for this particular network, so fault has occurred at the H2 terminal of transformer T2. Then what will be the base MV and base KV? Can you tell me? Because you have to convert the per unit current to the actual one. So at this fault point, what will be the base MV and base KV?
Ma'am, base KB will be 132 kilovolt,
Yes.
and there's nothing mentioned about the base MVA.
No,
So we
base
can
MV we have done 100 MVA, na?
MVA.
100 MVA. With that we have convert all the things. So 100 MVA is the base and 132 kV is the line. So root 3 VLIL equal to that. So from there you calculate the base current. For base current you must consider root 3, right? So I hope you can complete this table. So this theoretical value you calculate, okay? From the, say, here you see two branch currents are different. It may happen, but you see for this run, this current should be unique. This current should be unique, is not it? Because these are series current. But you see here, summation of the branch current I1, I2 will not be equal to I3, I4 because we have simulated this thing in the network analyzer. So we have connected some resistance. Say this, we have connected this resistance to somewhere. So there is some contact resistances, and contact resistances may be near to zero, but not zero, and they are not equal at all the places. That's why we are not getting all the currents equal. all the summation of branch currents equal. But when you calculate theoretically, you will get one unique current. These branch currents may be different, but this series current will be always be same. Okay. So you fill up the table in that way. Similarly, for the series one also, say branch I1 plus I2 is 3.387. If you sum these two, this is not 3.387. But why these are different? Because here we have measured all this current, we have measured this current as a using an ammeter. So we have put an ammeter here, then we have put same ammeter here, then we have put the same ammeter here. So ammeters are showing different current because they are the contact resistances are not same. So that's why they are not, we are not getting the same current, right? But when you do practically, when you do it theoretically, then these two current may be different, but total current will be unique. And total current will be sum of these two. So what is the report? Compute the fault current in all parts of the given system for the given fault. Why I have written given fault? In the instruction sheet it may be written that you calculate for the all the faults. Since I have discussed only the three phase fault and the single line to ground fault, so you do it for those two faults only. Compare them with the experimental results. Okay, and calculate always current in ampere in actual value. I have also given that one, and calculate the percentage error, right? And when you calculate in it theoretically, then obviously you cannot calculate it in one step. It is not possible. So those who will write in one step, I shall deduct marks, because here every point you have to mark, make the equivalent of the reactances, and you have to calculate the current. Okay. So all the steps you follow as you do for your theoretical classes when you are calculating the current theoretically. Then you show the calculation and put the values in the table. Okay. So that's all for this type experiment, and you have to submit this one within the next working day uh, after puja vacation. That means first working day after puja vacation, that means first Thursday after puja vacation. Okay. The PPT or the PDF of this file I shall give send to you after necessary correction that I have identified right now, and you complete it and send me by the time. The date also I shall mention in that mail. Okay. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.